Hello, what's going on, everyone? Thank you so much for joining me here today on Narcissism 101, Cracking the Code with me, Paul Wisdom. Good morning, guys. Hope everybody's having a great morning and that you're enjoying your Tuesday today. Before we get into what we're going to talk about today, if you want a one-on-one session, please email me at paul.wisdom_03@hotmail.com, or you can send a text message to 647-406-3057. If you want to talk, if you want to vent, if you need some more advice, if you need to figure out, if you're trying to figure out whether the person you're dealing with is a narcissist, or you just have some questions for me, please feel free to reach out. If you want to call, just send a text to that number I just mentioned. Just let me know that it's you and you would like to talk about your narcissistic experience, your name, and then we can get you the help that you need. All right. So, what we're going to talk about today, guys, without further ado, is why narcissists are always late, or narcissists are always late for everything. Here's the thing, guys, and I've mentioned it in many of my videos, and this is very true, that narcissists thrive off of chaos, confusion, and control. Narcissists, the reason why they're late and why they always want to be late for everything is because narcissists, you have to remember also that they're very concerned about their image. And when they show up late for something, what that does is it puts the spotlight on them, because then they have three things are happening. One, they're creating chaos by being late, because now everybody has to put themselves on hold. They have to put everything on hold. Let's say that the narcissist is your spouse, for example, and let's say that you guys are supposed to go out for dinner, let's say. And let's say that you guys planned a dinner, you planned a time that you're supposed to go to this restaurant, for example, and everything is ready, and you show up, you show up early. Well, you're supposed to head to this dinner with them, and let's say that they get stuck at work, supposedly, right? And you're saying to yourself, and you're calling them and texting them, and you're saying, where are you? We made these reservations months ago. Like, we're supposed to be out the door together. And then you're starting to wonder, like, what is going on? And they're not answering their phone. You're calling them, they're not answering. You're texting, they're not answering you. And then you're trying to figure out what the heck is going on. Well, what's going on there is that what the narcissist is doing is they're actually trying to control you, because they know that they know what time it starts. But the thing is that they want to see how they're testing you in that situation. They're wanting to see how far they can push you until you break, until you get angry with them. What they also want to do is they want to cause confusion. They want to gaslight you, because they may even send you a text and say, there's no reservation today. We didn't have that reservation today. That reservation's tomorrow, or it's next week, or it's next month, or we never reserved anything at that restaurant. And then you're scratching your head saying, yes, we did. I have it right here. And the person that, I'm at the restaurant, and they said, yeah, our reservation is for this time. And then you're trying to wonder, like, did you do something wrong, or did you reserve at the right restaurant? See, you're asking yourself all these questions, and meanwhile, the narcissist knows exactly what's going on. They know that the reservation was for that time. But what they're doing is they actually want to cause chaos. They get supply off of watching you get angry. They get supply off of watching you explain and try to figure out something that's already in stone, that's already right. Because they want to cause chaos. Right? They want to make you, lose your mind. They want you to make it seem like you're the crazy one that has problems, that you're the one that forgets everything. So now they have you confused, and now they also have you under control. Now they can actually control you, because now what they've done is now they have you stuck there at the restaurant, and now you're waiting for them. And now they know that they can control you, even if they're not there with you, they're controlling you, because now they know that they don't have to show up if they don't want to. They can go and do something else, and that's usually what they do. They'll go off and do something else. That's just one example, guys. Another example. Let's say that, for example, you guys are supposed to. Let's say that you guys are supposed to go, you have something important to do, let's say that you have something important to do, a place to be, a project to get done, or something like that. And let's say that the narcissist, again, they're visiting a friend or something like that, and you guys are supposed to be doing this project together, and you guys set a time for it, and they're a no-show. And then an hour later, you're calling them and texting them again. You're just like, where are you? Why like, we planned this together. And then they probably don't answer you. They'll probably just leave it on unread, or they'll probably say something to the effect of, "Oh, my phone was off. I didn't see when their phone was never off. Their phone wasn't off. It was just they saw your message, but they just didn't want to acknowledge it because because narcissists are master manipulators and they know exactly what they're doing, and they want to again create chaos. They want you to lose your mind. They want you to go crazy. They want to blame you. Another big one, and then I'm gonna move on. Let's say that you guys are supposed to go to a get together, for example, a barbecue get together or something like that, a family get together, a gathering, a banquet, a wedding, something like that. Let's say you guys are supposed to go somewhere, right? And let's say that this, banquet, whatever this event is, it's set for this specific time, right? And let's say that you guys are supposed to be there maybe 30 minutes early or 20 minutes early. Let's say, for example, you guys are one of you or both of you maybe are supposed to be participating in the wedding, for example. And let's say that you're supposed to be there for a specific time. Well, what's going to happen is that the narcissist, you guys set a time for when you're going to leave and whatnot. What's going to happen is that the narcissist is going to make you guys both late on purpose. How are they going to do this? Well, there's many ways that they could do this. And I experienced this with my ex-wife actually many times. So one thing they can do, and like I said, all narcissists will do something a little bit different, but all the situations are pretty much the same. One of the things they're going to do is they will claim that they need to use the bathroom. This was my ex-wife's favorite thing to do. Anytime we had to be somewhere for a specific time, she would always have to use the bathroom right when we're leaving. And then, so they have to use the bathroom. But, I'm not trying to say everyone that uses the bathroom is a narcissist. It's not what I'm trying to say. What I'm trying to say is that they will say that on purpose when really they could have held it. They could have just waited till later. They sit in the bathroom for, maybe an hour or so. And then you're standing there at the door. You're waiting to go. You're ready to go. You're all dressed up to the nines and you're ready to go. And then they say, I have to use the bathroom. And then it's an hour now and they're still in the bathroom. And then let's say that you go to the bathroom and you go over to them, you're just like, is everything okay? What's taking you so long? And then they're just sitting there on the toilet with their phone in their hand and they're not even acknowledging you. They're just ignoring you and they're still on their phone. And then you say, can you hurry up? And then next thing you know, they blow up at you and they say, why do you take everything so seriously? Why are you rushing me? Don't rush me. And then they're getting angry at you. And then you're like, but we set a time for this time and we're going to be late. And then now they're giving you the silent treatment and they just say, oh, I don't want to talk to you. And then you're just like, what is going on here? And then next thing you know, they get out of the bathroom and then you ask them, what just happened there? And then next thing you know, you guys are having an argument. Then they bring something up like, oh, well, you used the bathroom last time and made us late. And then you're like, then now they're creating confusion. And now you're confused because that never happened. And then before you know it, you guys are both arguing with each other. You're yelling and screaming and then they're watching you. And then they're just standing there like smirking at you like that. And then like that, they're smirking at you. And then you're just yelling and you don't understand what's going on. And then next thing you know, you guys get into the car and it's now the place that you're going to is 2 hours away, but they've been in the bathroom for an hour and now you guys are going to be like an hour late to get to the place. And then now in the car, you're upset, you're mad, and the narcissist is just sitting there as if nothing's going on. They're on their phone as usual, looking for your replacement, looking for talking to the person that they're cheating on you with. And then you guys are driving over to the place. Let's say you guys get to the place now. Narcissist is probably walking like 10 or 20 feet in front of you or 20 feet behind you. And then you're trying to figure out what the hell is going on here. And then you guys get to the place, you go to see the person who's getting married or whatever, and then you go say hi, and then the narcissist, they are like, they're acting as if everything's great, and then you're a little bit disturbed, you're a bit tired out, you're looking exhausted, and then that person's like, yo, is everything all right? You're good? And then you're just like, yeah, I'm fine. And then they're just like, no, you look tired. You look upset. And then now the narcissist is sitting back there and then they're watching you and then they're smiling. and then you're looking around and you don't know what the heck is going on. Well, what is going on there is that the narcissist, what they're trying to do is show you, one, how little they care about you, and the second thing is that they want to show you that they want to essentially control you, right? Because narcissists know when their targets are catching on. They know when their targets can't take it anymore. So when they're doing that, they know, what's happening is that they're getting ready to actually do the final discard with you. Now, I mentioned in my videos in the past that the narcissistic abusive cycle that goes love bomb stage, devaluation, and then discard stage, that was happening all throughout the relationship. Whether you want to believe it or not, it was happening all throughout the relationship from the day they met you. The only thing is that what happened now is that each step, each part of the relationship, it just gets worse and worse and worse. So in the love bomb stage, you get little bits of the love bomb, the devaluation, and the discard. When the narcissist is ignoring you in the love bomb stage, when they're walking away from you, when you're talking, they cut you off in the middle of a sentence. That's them, showing you how little they care about you, right? And after that comes the devaluation stage, which is the part where they amp it up a little bit more, where they amp up the smear campaign a little bit more, and then people that you knew, friends, family, and people, they don't want to spend as much time with you anymore because the narcissist, was going around telling flat out lies about you, making up stories about you that weren't even true, that didn't even happen. They're going around telling people that you're unstable, that something's wrong with you, and they try to make it seem as though they're concerned about you, but they're not concerned about you. What they're doing is they're trying to isolate you from those people so that they can control you, so that they can, get control of your mind. And that's why I say, guys, it's really important that you guys guard your mind, because every narcissist's favorite abuse tactic is gaslighting. Narcissists love to gaslight people. That's what they always start with, because they know that most of the people that they get involved with don't know anything about narcissism. And so because they don't know anything about narcissism, the narcissist knows that they can start to devalue them and start to make them doubt themselves using the mental game of gaslighting, right? And so once they have their brain under that control, then they know that they can control them, right? And so why narcissists show up late, and the fact that narcissists show up late, you have to understand that they show up late because what they also want to do, and this is very important, what narcissists also want to accomplish when they show up late, they want to make it seem as though you are the reason why you guys are late. So they will blame it on you and say that it's your fault why we are late. See, what you have to understand about narcissists is that they don't like taking accountability for anything. If they made you late, a normal person in a normal relationship would say, I'm so sorry, I just had this call to take care of for work, and work is busy, and you know that their work is busy and everything like that. So you're understanding of that, right? But see, when it's a narcissist, they don't like to apologize. They don't like to, self-reflect and say, I'm sorry, and give a heartfelt apology. Now, they may say sorry to you, but you can rest assured that when they say sorry to you, it's not a heartfelt I'm sorry. It's a sorry so that they say sorry to dodge accountability, to get out of, facing the music and saying, yeah, it's time for me to take some accountability and self-reflect. Narcissists can't do that, because if they do that, then that means that they will, one, get a narcissistic injury, and second, what's going to happen is that they'll have to think about all the people's lives that they've destroyed, and they can't do that. That's why they go from relationship to relationship to relationship, and they do the same exact playbook, love bomb, devaluation, discard, with everybody. They do the same thing with everyone. It's just different people, different time zones, depending on what those people can provide for them. And so what you have to understand is that narcissists want to make it seem as though you're the problem. So what they will even do when you guys show up to wherever you're going, what they will do is they'll even go tell everybody that especially if their friends come to them and say, how come you guys are late? What happened? Then the narcissist will say, oh, it's my spouse. He or she made me late. Look at them. They're a pain in the backside and all this stuff. And then you're sitting there and you're standing there and you're saying, in your mind, what the heck? Because if you say anything out loud, then there will be a big heavy price to pay. They will give you the silent, if they're a covert narcissist, they will give you the silent treatment for days on end, and then you're gonna have to be the one to apologize. If they're a malignant narcissist, once you guys get in the car in time to leave, they'll probably slap you in the face or abuse you where nobody's looking. Because what you have to also understand, this is what many people miss about narcissistic abuse. And I created a video actually just recently that not all abuse is out loud. Sometimes it can be behind closed doors, right? When you guys are driving in the car, nobody sees the yelling and the screaming that the narcissist is doing to you, the slaps in the face and the punches and the kicks and all that. They don't see it happening because they're not there with you. And when you go and tell them, what happened to you, they think that you're the one that's crazy. They think you're making this stuff up because they don't think that people like this even exist. But the truth is, these people exist, and they all play by the same playbook. So what I'm saying is that, when it comes down to narcissists always being late, they do this because they just don't. Another reason why I do this is because they don't care. They don't care about anybody but themselves. They think that and sometimes what they'll even do, before I finish that, what they'll even do sometimes is, let's say that you guys are supposed to go to a show or something like that, right? What they will do is they will say, I'm gonna go do this instead. I'm gonna go hang out with my buddies or my girlfriends. And then you're scratching and saying, what? We planned this for months. And then they're just like, yeah, so what's your problem? Why are you getting so upset at me for? Why are you accusing me of stuff? Don't you know that there's better things that I could be doing with my time? And then you're saying, what the hell is going on here? And then this becomes a thing where they're always making excuses not to spend time with you. Let's say that you guys were supposed to have dinner together, just you and the narcissist, and you don't know they're a narcissist. Let's say you're supposed to have dinner together at this set time, of the night, let's say breakfast in the morning. I don't know, whatever you want to do, lunch or something like that. And then let's say that everything is set up, breakfast is made or lunch is made or dinner is made and all that stuff. Let's say that you guys are supposed to spend it together. And then, the time comes around and let's say that they're nowhere around to be found. Maybe they're asleep, right? And maybe, but you planned this, right? And maybe they're asleep or maybe they're at work, right? And you planned dinner for them. You made dinner for them and everything. And they said that they would be there at this time. Well, what's going to happen? They're not even going to show up for dinner. Maybe you'll get a text 10 minutes before or 5 minutes before or right at the time that says, don't wait up for me. I'm busy at work, or I won't make it in time. And then you're scratching your head saying, what the hell? But we planned this though. And then now you're confused. Now you call them on the phone and then they don't answer you. And then you call them again, they don't answer you. And then you're trying to figure out what the hell is going on here. This has happened for a month now where they're making excuses. They're ignoring me. It's like they say that they love me, but they don't even want to spend time with me. They make excuses not to spend time with me. And this happened a lot when I was married to my ex-wife. What happened was that there were many times where, as you guys know, I'm a chef. I cooked dinner for us and we were supposed to, have dinner together. And what ended up happening was that, dinner is made and everything like that. And then I get a message saying, I'm busy, I'm late at work, don't wait up for me. And I'm just like, okay. And then, what I do is I eat my food and everything like that. And then they come to me and then my ex-wife the next day, she comes up to me and says, babe, I miss you. I want us to spend more time together. And I'm just like, okay. And now I'm confused because I'm just like, and I told her, it doesn't, for somebody that keeps on saying that they want to spend time together, it seems as though many times you're not available to spend time together. You make yourself unavailable. So I don't understand. Do you want to spend time together or are you just saying that? And then her response to me was, so what? You don't care about me? What? I'm not important to you anymore? What? I'm not good enough for you? I'm just like, babe, no, I'm just trying to understand. Anytime you want to spend time together, you always make an excuse not to spend time together. And that confuses me. And then she gives me the silent treatment. And then she's like, oh, I don't even want to talk to you right now. And I'm just like, okay. And then this keeps on becoming a repeated thing where she just makes excuses not to spend time with me. And, this is what happens with narcissists. This is what they do, right? And so what you have to understand is that they're always late. They make themselves late on purpose. I just want you guys to know that when the narcissist is late, they make themselves late on purpose. And usually it's because they're doing something behind your back that they don't want you to know about, right? Or what they will do, let's say that they were supposed to come home at a certain time, right? They will come home at that time, but what they will do is they will disappear to another part of wherever you live in the house, and then what they will do is they will act like they are sleeping, and then what will happen is you're gonna go to them and you're gonna try and figure out, is everything okay? And then they're gonna give you the silent treatment, or they'll say, yeah, I'm fine. Whenever somebody says, I don't care if it's a man or a woman, anytime someone says fine, that is a huge red flag. I don't care who it is. Anytime somebody says the word fine, that is a huge red flag. What they're saying when they say I'm fine, what they're saying is that they are not fine and they are doing something that they don't want you to know about at all. So take it from me. Anytime somebody says fine to you, like they're fine or I'm fine or this is fine or anything like that, that is a huge red flag. Especially if you haven't dated a lot, or if you're young and you're teens, it's your first relationship. If a guy or a girl says I'm fine, that is a huge red flag. And I would say be very, very careful, because 99% of the time they're doing something behind your back that they don't want you to know about. And that is true with the narcissist. What you have to understand too about narcissists is that they're very secretive. They love secrets. They love telling secrets. And the reason why they love telling secrets is because then they know that they know something that you don't know. And that's how narcissists operate. They operate like the devil, because the devil, Satan himself, he's a master manipulator. And he always wants to be ahead of God when he knows he's not ahead of God. Right? And so when it comes down to narcissists, they play by the same exact mantra or modus operandi as the devil, right? And so what I'm saying here, guys, is that, when the narcissist is late, it's a huge red flag as well when they show up late. Now, I'm not trying to say everybody that shows up late is a narcissist. Sometimes if you have kids, let's say, you show up late because you had something to do with the kids, to take them to take them here, to take them there, and you had this busy, and maybe you showed up maybe 10 minutes or 5 minutes. Like, I get that. I'm not trying to say everybody shows up late as a narcissist. What I'm trying to say is that when you're dealing with a narcissist, narcissists have a tendency to show up late and they blame it on other people. They want to make everybody else take accountability for things that they are supposed to take accountability for. That's what I'm trying to say. So I don't want people to message me and say all this stuff like, but I've been late and all this. That's not what I'm trying to say. We're talking about narcissistic people. We're not talking about you. We're talking about narcissists. And all narcissists, they all play by the same playbook. They all do the same exact things. The only difference, again, and I'm saying this again, is that they do it to different people in different time zones, dependent on what those people can provide for them, right? And everybody offers something different to the narcissist. Some people offer good sex. Some people have money. Some people can be like an arm candy, meaning that person can be attractive. Like a woman can be sexy as hell, or the guy can be a really handsome guy, or that person could be providing like a roof over their head, or pay their rent, or pay their bills. Narcissists, what I'm trying to say here is that narcissists, they see everything on this planet as supply, meaning that they can use it for their own gain, and then they can throw it away whenever they decide that they want to throw it away. So if they're married to somebody today, they can easily, just like that tomorrow, end the marriage like nothing happened and move on to somebody else as if nothing happened. And truth be told, when narcissists end marriages, what you have to understand is that marriage was already over before it started. And I made a video on that sometime last year or years ago, entitled "It Was Over Before It Started," because it was over before it started, because the narcissist already had somebody in the wings while they were with you, while they were married to you. But except, again, you just didn't know anything about that person. because the narcissist didn't want you to know that. Maybe it was an ex that they were dealing with. Maybe it was somebody else that they were dealing with, that they just met at work, or they met in church, or they met, at the store. It could be anybody, right, that they were messing around with, right? It doesn't even have to be romantic relationships. It could be a friendship. Let's say that, you were friends with somebody who you didn't even know was a narcissist. Let's say that, you were doing everything for them. You were picking them up, even though many times they were late, you turned a blind eye and you gave them chances. And then after a while, they just stopped returning your calls. They just stopped texting you back. And then you were trying to figure out what's happening, right? And what was happening was that they had another friend, that they were in a friendship with, but you didn't know anything about this friend. So see, guys, what I'm trying to say? What I'm trying to say is that this is how narcissists operate, right? And these are reasons why they show up late and why they love being late. Because they want to screw everybody over. They want to create chaos. They want people arguing. They want people upset. They want people explaining to them why they shouldn't be late. If you have to explain to somebody why they shouldn't be late, that is also a huge red flag. You shouldn't have to explain to anybody at all. I don't care who it is. You shouldn't have to explain to anybody why they should not be late. If you have to do that, I would say cut them off right away. I don't care if it's your parent. I don't care if it's your sibling. I don't care if it's your spouse. I don't care if it's your boss. I don't care who it is. If you have to explain to somebody why they shouldn't be late, that is a huge red flag. Especially if you just probably met this person, and let's say that you guys are going on a date. Let's say you guys are going to meet up for lunch or something. I don't know. Let's say that you're going to meet up for lunch, or let's say it's a date and you guys are supposed to go out somewhere. And let's say that the reservation's for 10, but then now it's 10:15 and you're there and they're not there, and then 10:30 they show up and they act as if nothing happened. Then that's a huge red flag. A huge red flag. That means that they don't respect you. They don't respect your time, and that they're gonna do that in the future, and they're gonna stand you up in the future. But you dare do that to them, and guess what's gonna happen? They will make it seem as though you're the worst person in the world. Now we're talking about narcissists, right? You do it to them, you show up late for the narcissist, they will act as if you mean absolutely nothing to them. They won't even give you a chance. If you're late by, let's say, 10 minutes and you give it, and you're usually not late at all, and you say, listen, sorry, and then you send them a message early on, you say, listen, and then you explain, right? But then they make it seem like you've never been late before, but you're late just this one time, and they're late like 10 out of 10 of the times, then that's a huge red flag. So what I'm saying here, guys, the brunt of what I'm trying to say here, and I know that these last 2-3 videos have been a little longer recently, but I'm trying to drive home a point that all narcissists, you have to be aware of these things, right? You can't just turn a blind eye. You can't keep giving people, that's another thing. Another video I made some time ago entitled, Stop Giving People Second Chances, right? So what I'm saying is that you have to use your judgment, was what I'm saying. And, depending on the person, so let's say it was just one time, and let's say that, that person has a legitimate reason. Let's say that, let's say that they had an appointment, let's say, and that appointment went a little longer than they anticipated, and it's not their fault, then that's legitimate reason. That's understandable. But if every single time that same person is late all the time, then you know that then you know that something is wrong, that they're always making excuses, right? And then now you know that you cannot trust this person for anything, right? So what I'm saying is that you have to use your judgment, right? And you can't keep giving people second chances, especially if they keep on abusing you and taking advantage of you and showing you how little they care about you. Because a normal person, if they showed up late, they would say, listen, I'm so sorry I showed up late. This came up and all that. And then you guys talk about it. But a narcissist, they'll just pretend as if nothing happened. They'll show up and say, hey, and then if it's your wife or your husband or your girlfriend or your boyfriend, they'll just kiss you and say, hey, and then they kiss you, and then they just pretend as if nothing happened. And then they're smiling at you, and then they're giving you they're winking at you and seducing you and all that nonsense. What they're doing there is they're showing you actually in that scenario, they were actually with your replacement and they just got filled up with supply. They just got filled up with energy. Maybe they had a rendezvous. Maybe they had sex with this person. Maybe they were with this person for half the day and they claimed to be at work, but they weren't at work. They were with this person, but they won't tell you that because narcissists can't be honest with anybody, right? So that's what I was trying to say, guys. Thank you so much for joining me here today on Narcissism 101 Cracking the Code with me, Paul Wisdom. Like I said, if you want a one-on-one session, please email me at paul.wisdom_03@hotmail.com or send a text message 647-406-3057. If you want to talk, if you want to vent, if you need some advice, if you need to ask me some questions, please feel free to reach out. If you want to call, just send a text to that number. Just let me know it's you, just so that I know it's you, and just so that because if you just call me, then I'll probably just block the number because I just don't answer random numbers unless there's a caller ID and that person, it's for something important. But if you just call me, I won't know who it is. But if you text me, say this, my name is so and so. I'm my narcissistic experience. I've been watching your videos. I would appreciate that, all right? So thank you so much for being here today on Narcissism 1 Cracking the Code with me, Paul Wisdom, and I hope to see you on the next video. Thank you so much.